We are live. This is Jason. Welcome to the Facebook Live Ask Jason question series. We got a great question today from John, and he is one of our Future Firm Group members coming up in 2019. He's asking some questions about EOS, and it's a big old question. It's a really big question. We're going to answer it in a minute. It's about how to do scorecards. What should you do around scorecards? That's data measurement, basically, is what that is. In EOS, which is Entrepreneurial Operating System, scorecards and data, just pumping numbers to yourself, some kind of metrics is a way to help yourself grow. And so that's a key component to EOS. He's a member of our Future Firm Groups. I wanted to mention that. You can go to our site, Thriveal.com, and there's two different things you can sign up for. We have groups starting in 2019. One of them is the Future Firm Group, and the Future Firm Groups are monthly groups for firm owners, and it's about an hour and a half each month, and they're high accountability groups, and it's for firms that are implementing EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And my partner Julie and I lead those every month, and they're signing up now. People are signing up now. In fact, this is the week of Deeper Weekend. Our conference starts. We're loading into venues this week. We're going to start teaching on Thursday. We have events Wednesday night this week. It's going to be awesome. And so people at Deeper Weekend are going to be signing up for our Future Firm Groups coming up. Now, one thing I wanted to tell you about, we're going to be announcing at Deeper Weekend, this is a sneak preview, is our coaching and advisory lab groups. So coaching and advisory lab, these are weekly meetings, and you'll be able to go to our website, Thriveal.com, and click a lab button at the top of the website and find out more about those. So just wanted to share those two types of groups, Future Firm Groups, which are monthly high accountability commitment groups about firms implementing EOS, and then these weekly commitment groups called coaching and advisory lab groups, where you can learn how to be an advisor, how to be a coach to your clients, and you'll be coached too in the process. Pretty awesome. Now, EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. So let's see what John says. He has a really big question here. He says they're starting to implement EOS, and they're brainstorming what kind of data component they should be putting into their firm. And they're starting to come up with some things. Here's some things they came up with. Revenue percentage year to date versus prior year. That's an awesome. Number of on-track deliverables for a week and number of off-track deliverables for the week. I love that. That's good stuff. He's like, what do you guys do? John also came to our incubator, which you can find out more about if you go to Thriveal.com and hit the incubator button at the top. We're already going to be taking commitments for our incubator program next year. We're going to be launching that at Deeper Weekend too. But when John was at the incubator, he asked what we did in our firm, and we track things around capacity, team capacity. Our business model really means we got to track capacity of team really well. That has a lot to do with our growth. So, but just overall, he's asking, what are some data metrics you should be using to drive your firm? Well, let's talk about this. You should be tracking data that really is the engine that runs your firm. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's going to be 4 or 5 main components of an engine that run your firm. And here's the way I like to look at it. If you look at a profit and loss statement, you got revenue at the top, and that's an engine. You got expenses down here in the middle. That's kind of an engine. And then you got profitability down here at the bottom. That's an engine. Of course, what's weaving through all of that is team. The team things that you do, that's part of your engine. So we would say track some data and scorecards that are related to the engine that really run your company. And so if you look at a profit and loss, you can kind of see at the top, you might want to track some revenue related engines as part of your data. We think marketing is a big key to that for service-based businesses. So how many marketing calls you're making, ongoing marketing. So that's part of the engine of the revenue piece. The expense could be your capacity. That's what we do. Could be any kind of project management service deliverable engine that runs your firm, that runs the service. That's what John and his firm is doing. They're tracking on-time deliverables or off-track deliverables. That's part of the engine in that expense part, the service part. And then the profitability could be another engine to see how profitable you are. And here's a little trick with data metrics. So when you get revenue, or you get team costs in the middle of the P&L, or you get profitability in the very bottom of the P&L, divide it by stuff. Put it in relation to other things, and the data can start becoming really comparable and start to make a lot of sense. So for example, if you're tracking profitability, that can be a data for your scorecard, right? And you can track profitability year to date, but compared to prior year too. But if you get that profitability number and divide it by full-time equivalent employees, that gives you a different piece of data. And now you've got two pieces of data being incorporated into one, and you can start to learn over time what that piece of data means. So you're looking at profitability, but you're looking at profitability in relation to your labor. You're starting to talk about the efficiency of your labor in producing your profit. And you could look at the efficiency of your labor in producing your cost of goods, your gross margin, basically, your revenue minus your cost of goods or your cost of services provided. So just divide it by another number. So just the raw data pumping out of the engine of your P&L could make sense. But if you get that data and also divide it by other things, you could compare it to a whole bunch of things, like capacity in our firm, the benchmarked capacity of what our team can do compared to what they are doing are really significant numbers we need to know, because it helps us know what our growth is going to look like as new leads come in. So I hope that helps. Scorecards, can be an amazing way just to get a high-level glance of how are the engines of your company working as you implement those to grow your company. So it's really important to get your scorecard and your data right. Julie and I use some. We struggle to use it like we should. I'm sure everybody struggles to use it, but it is really good high-level stuff to drive how your company works. So make sure you're using data and scorecards and related to the things that specifically drive the engine of your company. And not everybody's engine is the same, because everybody's business model is different. Ours is definitely different. We price our services in a different way. So our engines, the things we need to track about the engines of our revenue may look different than another firm. So just keep that in mind. And just another reminder, this week is Deeper Weekend. We're launching a lot of stuff at Deeper Weekend for all of the attendees that are going to be flying in from all over the country. And you can find some of those programs, those monthly and weekly programs, and just annual programs at our website, Thriveal.com. Or if you're ever interested in what we're doing, email us, info@Thriveal.com. Also, email us a question, and we will answer your question. So, John, thanks for the awesome question. It was a big one. It's good stuff. See you at Deeper Weekend. And I'll see all of you at Deeper Weekend next year. Take care.